Welcome back, guys. Today I've got a review for you. And also I may have an answer for the question, is induction cooking really that much better than regular cooking? Let's find out. Alright guys, so what I have today is an induction cooktop. And as you can guess by the beginning, it is going to be very much different than using a regular stovetop. I don't know what's on the box, so there's that. I'm not touching it. It is a DUXTOP. The model is the E200A. It has a 170-minute timer on it, so you can time whenever you're cooking stuff. The functions is you can do watts from 0.5 watts up to 10. Whenever you turn this on, everything is preset to medium basically. Or you can cook on temperature, which is going to be from 100 degrees Fahrenheit up to 460, I believe, Fahrenheit, 460 to 470. And then if you set a setting, you can walk it on there. So basically the test I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be boiling 4 cups of water, cool in the pan, cooking on the stove, and timing it. Then I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be frying some eggs. And this is not going to be scientific because frying eggs is not really scientific. So we're just going to be doing from start to finish, how long was it? And then I'm just going to fry some hot dogs just because I can. And then so basically what I'm just looking for here is how much of a difference is there. And just a spoiler alert, I've done some of these tests already, not on camera of course, and there is a difference, quite a bit of a difference actually. One of the big perks of this is that being how the unit doesn't get hot in just the pan, it doesn't heat up the apartment or the house like a regular stove would, which is kind of nice. And also because it's heating the pan and not everything around it, like one big coil, it cooks much quicker. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get some water out and we're going to get this started back in a moment. Alright guys, so I have 4 cups of water in here. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Put the lid on. Again, in case if you didn't know, with induction cooking, the pans have to be magnetic. They can't just be aluminum. They have to have a base that's going to be magnetic. Otherwise, it's not going to work at all. It's going to sit there and your pan's going to be cold. So turn it on. I'm going to turn it on to up to 10 watts and set my timer. So I'll be back whenever that gets done. Alright guys, so it's been 1 minute 49 seconds and the 4 cups of water is already boiling. So I just want to kind of show you guys that. And I did take the lid off as soon as I put it on because I realized that I wouldn't be able to see it. I want it to be as fair as possible, so go back when it reaches the boiling stage. Alright guys, it has been 5 minutes and 45 seconds and it has been rolling boil for a few seconds. So I'm going to shut it off and check it out. It goes right off. So that's another thing about induction cooking, which is nice, is when you kill the heat, it shuts it off. Now, that was with the lid off. Earlier I did it with the lid on and it took it exactly 5 minutes. So now I'm going to let this pan cool off. I'm going to come back and do it on the extra stove. I'm back when it's finished. Alright guys, I'm back. So the pan's cooled off and I've got 4 cups in it. I'm going to turn this up on high. And put the lid on. Oh, put the lid off. I'll be back when it's finished. Alright guys, so just while that's heating up, it's been 3 minutes and 2 seconds and you can tell it's just almost at that rapid boiling stage, just seconds away. I want you to look at all that energy. Yes, this has more power than that, but all that's going to waste. And I'm standing like 2.5 feet away. I'm sweating because it's hot over here because I can feel it radiating on me. Sorry, that scared me. So just kind of want to point that out, and also it's silent. That's one benefit over using an induction cooktop, is it doesn't have the fans to help cool it off. Because induction cooking, the unit itself does not like heat, so it has to have that fan. And again, the heat comes from the pan. So I just want to point that out, and I'll be back in about 2 or 3 hours when this finally reaches the boiling stage. Alright guys, here we are. It has been 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Completely out of focus, of course. I'm going to shut this heat off. So, as you can see, it doesn't die down really any near as quick as that. Just going to get that off the heat and dump that out. Oh, that panel is really hot. Alright guys, as you saw, cooking on the induction was way quicker. That handle was not even remotely warm when I got off the induction. Cooked it almost half the amount of time, and it's portable too. So that's a point for the induction. As far as the noise, that is something that you want to consider if you're going to be cooking where you need to be really quiet. Like say people are right next to the kitchen with the doors open, they're sleeping, that may wake them up. So with that said, there's that test included. And oh, one more thing, the cover time for the stove was 7 minutes and 19 seconds. So that took almost 2 minutes longer, as where the induction, instead of 5 minutes covered, it was 5 minutes and I forget how long uncovered. So it is longer, of course, but 2 minutes is quite a bit of a difference to be covered versus uncovered. So we're back for the next test in just a minute. All right, guys. So for the induction, which I'm going to be doing first, I'm going to fry 2 eggs in butter. These are equal amounts of butter. I'm going to start from it's cold. So put the eggs and the butter in there, melt it down, fry it, fry the 2 eggs up. And I'm going to take them off whenever I feel like it's to where I would like it, which is going to be the same. I'm just going to time it. So again, not scientific. I'm going to go to the stove and do the same thing. So back when I get done with the induction. All right, guys. So it's been 4 minutes and 56 seconds. These are, they're going to be runny, but they're not going to be crispy. Just the way I like them. Again, this is just for me. Just want to show you that. I'm going to go and get these off now. And I'll let this pan cool off completely down to room temperature. I'll use the stove. I'll do those. So back when that's ready. All right, guys. So while this is getting heated up, I've got the timer on, 16 seconds and everything. One of the things I want to run over with the induction cooktop is that there is a hot spot in the middle. So you want to, if you're cooking stuff like eggs, bacon, or anything that is going to be pieces, if that makes any sense, basically make sure whenever you're cooking to rotate it, keep it moving, don't let it sit in one spot too long. If you got on a really high heat, lower heat, it isn't really much of an issue. Again, those eggs I cooked on half power, 5 watts. This one also half power also. This butter here, this is one of the butters I reviewed a while back, the Kerrygold or whatever, and I swear this stuff melts like we even look at it. It's kind of nice. But anyways, I'm going to go and let this melt down. I just want to kind of run with it with you. Is make sure you're moving that around on the induction, because that is something that is an issue. Again, it will burn if you have something in the middle that burns easily, so keep it moving. So with that said, we're back when I get these eggs done. Again, 2 eggs, same amount of butters in there. Pan, I got it completely cool to the touch, just like the last one. And I'll be back when I've got this ready. All right, guys, so now is when I would go ahead and take it off. So it has been 7 minutes and 8 seconds. Get off of here. And more fried eggs. All right, so overall, yes, again, it was quicker using the induction. It actually is easier using this stove, just because of the fact you're not supposed to be sliding around the pans on the induction cooker. And when you're trying to move your food around, you gotta do a spatula. When it comes to having eggs that aren't set yet, that can be a risky thing. But if they're not set yet, they can't burn. So I like to keep stuff moving when I'm cooking it, and that does kind of bother me on the induction. So if you're like that also, keep that in mind. Overall, I think it's much easier using this, the actual stovetop, than the induction. But I think the induction so far, in one more test, is performing a lot better. So the next is going to be the hot dog test. Basically, I'm going to just char some hot dogs, and we'll see how that goes. So back in a minute with the induction setup. Alright guys, so that was the review of the DUXTOP E200. So what I thought of it was, I think it's pretty useful. Some of the pros: quick, convenient, portable, and it's not going to heat up your apartment or your house in the middle of summer like a range that's gasoline or regular electric range would. Some of the cons are that the specialized pans, and that is expensive. It's tough to get different pans because All the cheap pans, or even the medium price pans, are not going to work. So it has to have that base that not a whole lot of pans have, so that is kind of an investment. Another con is the noise, as we all notice with that. Again, if you're going to be cooking and there's people around that you need to be quiet with, say they're sleeping, that's something to consider. Do I think this is for everyone? No. And I say that also because another con is it's not going to cook like a regular burner. You may have to, you got to keep it moving around, otherwise it will burn in the middle. So, is it like really bad? No. A thicker pan helps out with that. People that cook with these with cast iron skillets, I mean, it's still noticeable, but not near as bad as like a real thin carbon steel pan. A super thin pan is going to be even worse. The nonstick skillet I have is actually decently thick. It's heavy too, so that makes a difference. So with that said, I will let you guys make your own decisions whether you think using an induction cooktop is superior than a regular electric range. Just real quick number I forgot to mention earlier, the efficiency rating. So efficiency rating on an induction is supposed to be about 85 to 90%, and then electric is supposed to be 60, and then gas stove is around 40 to 45. So that should put it into kind of spec as to how it really is. To me, I think induction is way more powerful. Even though you're not using as much electricity, you're getting a lot more done with what you have, and you're not wasting much electricity. You're not wasting much efficiency. So with that said, that's my review of the DUXTOP induction cooktop. If you got any questions for me, put it down in the comments. Anything you'd like for me to review or try, put it down in the comments. With that said, I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great night.